The Shaking My Head podcast features interesting discussions about topics that have frustrated the hosts, Alex and David. Each episode is meant to question the quirks of society and bring to light subjects that intrigue or bother us. If you're here because something has you shaking your head, even if it's just life, you're in the right place.
How'd your move go?
There's some stupid things. So, U-Haul, they suggest you to use the mobile app, which I did. And then you still have to go, I was under the impression that they had a lockbox on the car or something, on the U-Haul. So you just press a button and or press some code and get the key. But you still have to go into the U-Haul, I guess the counter and get the key. It was super awkward because a lot of people were just in line. It's just go in and get the key. And I was like, oh, excuse me. So I was go get the key. And I got within a few minutes because I think that guy might have been helping someone else. But otherwise, it might have taken longer just because I feel like the U-Haul people didn't really want to help that much. And there was only 2 people at the counter. Anyway, so went to go get the key and then use the app to note any existing damages to the van, which there was already some damages. And then so if you want to dispute or just it basically disputes if there's any issues that you see, you have to take a picture and then put notes about it. So then I put in the notes and I tried to take a picture, it wouldn't let me take a fucking picture. So then and I'm through the app, and I'm I'm not leaving without before noting all the damages, because it seemed like they're pretty serious about it, especially because there's these stickers that said quick settlement claim or something. And there's a few stickers with stuff that wasn't some was damaged but not super serious. So anyways, I'm go back and wait on the side, and then probably wait 20 minutes, and then while one of the people U-Haul reps or whatever at the counter, I was like, hey, can I ask you a quick question about the app? And she's like, hold on, wait another 10 minutes. And basically, I was telling her the whole situation. I asked if I could just manually document it, because some rental car companies, they'll just have a piece of paper where you circle all the damages on it.
Right.
And she's like, I think she wanted to give it to me, but she's like, oh, you have to bring it back in for approval. I'm like, well, the truck's just right there. Can we just do it real quick? And she's like, no. So anyways, at the end of it, and then she kept trying to convince me that a lot of people just hit approve, there's no damage, and then she's like, as long as you have pictures, it's fine. I'm just I don't feel comfortable. A trap. I was I don't feel comfortable with that shit. I was like, no, that's thinking that's how these situations arise. They'd be like, well, then why didn't you do this and that? And it's well, your rep told me this, and I'm like, well, you shouldn't have done that. The typical bullshit.
It's the same as rent a car, yeah.
Yeah, so in the very end, she sent me she resent me the link, which she should have done in the first place. So it's a link to go back to that page, but maybe not in the app or something. And then it worked.
Oh, to take a photo?
Yeah, to take the photos and when you note all the damages. So I did every single, I was in a hurry, so I did every single side except the one that had the most damage. I was like, fuck. And then you can't go back and do it. So I was like, fuck, I guess I have a picture. And then, so pickup was at 12:30, and then I drove Tina's car there, and then Tina waited for me there to make sure everything is okay. We probably didn't leave that place till at least 1:30. So it took me a whole hour to check in. It's ridiculous. And then probably didn't get to, and then, the other problem was my complex is stupid, where there's you can park your moving truck or whatever in the back gate. There's 2 gates that open up, but there's a padlock. And then I didn't know
about the second gate.
There's 2 gates. There's the same exact gates in the back of the complex by the swimming pool. They're 2 big ass gates. There's 2 of them.
Right.
So
the one that's closer to the Chinese restaurant.
No, because I'm in another apartment now.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I needed the key. Okay, I needed the key. And then I went to the office and they're like, oh, we only have 1 key and you have to reserve it. I'm like, what? Who does that? So then he's like, I'm like, can I contact the person with the key? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I can't give you any information, but he should be there right now. So luckily I asked around. Well, like the first guy, and he's like, yeah, this I'm the one with the key. I'm like, oh, hey, so like I need to move in as well, or moving out as well. How long are you here for? And he's like, an hour. I'm like, okay, so I need it for more than an hour. Can I like switch IDs with you when you leave? And he's like, that's fine. So at least he was like understanding and willing to switch. But there was probably like 5 other people that moved in and out, and people kept leaving the back gate open, so people could just walk in. But at that point, I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm moving out. And anyways, and the worst thing is I had to return the key by 5. So I was on a time crunch. Like I only had 3 hours to move everything out. So like 4:50. So one of the friends that's helping me out, he was like, I was like, dude, hurry up. I need to get the key back. And he was like, just leisurely like walking across. I was like, dude, I gotta get my ID back, even though it's my Georgia ID. So I ran at like 4:59, got to the leasing office at 5:01, and luckily I got my ID back. So those are like the 2 complications. We moved my TV stand. So a couple of things. Moved the TV stand, and then the liner on the truck, on the bottom of the truck, was rubber, I guess, and the TV stand's kind of, you can have it. It's kind of shitty. So I was like pulling just to like inch it up, and then the whole thing, like the whole one side fucking collapsed. And I spent like $175 on a TV stand. I'm like, really? I gotta fix that piece of shit. And then
it's fixable. It just broke.
Well, I mean, everything's fixable. Like it's not easily fixable. It's not gonna look the same, but I mean,
right.
Okay, either I throw it away I throw a shitty $175 TV stand away, or I fix it.
Right.
And then the actual like stand that holds my TV like to a base. So there's like a TV stand that you put your TV on, right?
Okay.
And then you got like a little base that you put your TV on. That you put
like because if you're gonna mount it on the wall, you can mount it on the thing.
Yeah, but most TVs includes like legs or a stand to put your TV onto, so that you can put it on like a yeah. So that when my friend and I helped me put my TV down, it just snapped. So I gotta fix that too. It's just like I don't understand. Like I've moved that TV a few times. I've never had that issue. So I don't know. It's just like there's too much shock like putting the TV back on the ground or what. But I do know that he's got like muscles, but he's not very like delicate with things. So I don't know if that's what it was, but
did you not have like wrap or blankets?
But it doesn't matter. You like if you want to put your TV like somewhere temporarily, like you just want to move it from the TV stand onto the ground so you can wrap it or whatever.
Oh yeah.
This TV stand, it shouldn't just snap on you. You should just put it. I mean, he wasn't like slamming it down, but I mean like maybe the angle or something. But it also shouldn't break that easily.
Okay.
But it's also an 80-pound TV, so I feel like that's just maybe a design flaw. Yeah, but the thing is, if the manufacturer sells an 80-pound TV, they should like over-engineer the stand, if anything, so that it doesn't break, right?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, you don't want people complaining that the TV stand broke. Like, what if the TV stand just breaks, like, when you're not there, and it falls off the TV stand or somewhere? Yeah, like, I don't know. So those are the main complications.
80-pound TV is huge.
It's a 60-inch plasma, and plasmas are glass in the front, so that's why it's heavy.
Oh.
So, those are the only real complications. Like, I had some scratches on some things here and there, but whatever. Like, I'm sure if I paid a mover, they'd probably scratch something anyways. So,
what about
loading? So I think loading and all that other shit took about 3 hours, and then once we got to my new place, it probably took us like 15 or 20 to unload.
You just like put it down.
No, we just threw everything in the garage.
Nice.
But we had to fill up there was a 9-foot cargo van U-Haul, and then we had to fill up Tina's car and my friend's car. So
So it was big enough for the bed.
Yeah, and then I bought like a vacuum seal bag for the queen size mattress because it's the size of the mattress I have. I
Hmm.
was trying to like deflate it, like trying to compress it to save a lot of room, but that didn't happen. So we just kind of put like a few things so it like kind of leveled out, and then we threw the mattress on top of that. And that basically, I think the mattress pretty much sat at the very top of the van. Um, yeah, so the other thing is I forgot I had an office chair, and that's kind of clunky, and I couldn't easily, like I didn't try very hard, but I couldn't get the top from the base separated.
Yeah.
So it kind of took up like a big area, like a big portion of the truck. So probably could have packed a little bit better, but that's what it is.
Well, you didn't have time.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't think it was worth the effort. Like I also think in the end that because the vacuum bag for the queen size mattress wasn't working out, that was like another wasted 10 minutes. But whatever. And
So
then
so that's like a bag you can just put around it, and then you're just using
yeah,
the vacuum to suck out the air.
yeah, I was hoping it wouldn't get damaged, and it got damaged. Tore, it tore during transit, but at least it protected my bed.
Sure.
So because I found out that
And if you're
this is
keeping
what
the
the
bed in the garage, it's going to keep it clean.
no, but that's not the yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just necessarily, it's just moving it around because when I
Sure.
moved it between apartments,
Sure.
my roommate who was helping me move it would like drag on the floor and get like wet or stained. And I
Yeah.
learned that if your mattress gets stained, your warranty's void, regardless of what stains it. And then the guy at the mattress store says that it's because any moisture ruins the integrity of the bed. But I'm thinking like,
That's
huh?
yeah.
I'm thinking like
No,
a mattress protector doesn't protect like you're still gonna sweat through a mattress protector potentially. So
oh,
I
is
don't know
it
how that works.
cloth?
Yeah, like a mattress protector you sleep on. Because
Oh, okay.
we're talking about generally speaking, like you can't get any like you can't get it wet in any way, right?
Okay.
So that includes sleeping because people sweat or they have sex, like
Drool. Yeah.
drool, whatever it is. And it's kind of interesting how they say like, yeah, the integrity of the mattress is compromised to like liquids or stains.
I'm
Then
surprised like they will even allow you to return it, period. I guess
well, so usually so if it gets returned, my understanding is that like you can't resell it. It has to be recycled. So I'm like, for instance, but what I was talking about is not returning this for warranty purposes. Like
right.
if something, if there's a
Like a
defect
spring
with the
broke or something.
mattress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then if you stain, apparently the warranty's void. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know how you're gonna you, like if you just spill one thing on the mattress, that's it, which seems a little ridiculous.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
So
not
this is just
sure.
what the guy at the mattress store said. So
Sure. Sure.
I was like, okay. I don't know, but he's also trying to like sell a mattress protector. Basically, like what I mean by mattress protector is just like something that you like a cloth piece that you like a topper, basically.
Okay. Like a fitted sheet kind of thing.
Yeah, fitted sheet, but it has like a thicker top to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, and then yesterday, I went over and I moved some of the office stuff upstairs into the new like media room office, and I got my bed frame set up, and my bed on there. So now I got to move my TV in, a few boxes here and there. Apparently I'm a hoarder. So
Well, you had enough stuff for a 9 foot U-Haul plus 2 cars.
yeah. Well, one car is a mini, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I also like forget because I moved everything over in the minivan, but I forgot that like I basically have a bedroom and an office of stuff now.
Yeah, whenever people move, you just realize how much stuff you have. It's like
Yeah,
you didn't realize how much you had because when you're living in it, it's like somewhat organized per se.
yeah. So I also forgot that there's some things I picked up. Like there's like a bookshelf from a neighbor that I picked up, and then like I also had like after I moved, I bought like a bed frame. I also bought like an office desk, basically. Uh, what else? Oh, and then I picked up like a filing cabinet that was just laying around. So, and I could have thrown those out, but it's just like I already have it, might as well move it. And then those are like the things you forget about, right?
Hmm.
So, anyways,
How
probably gonna
how
go back.
was returning the U-Haul? Like you just
Oh, that was another shit show and a half.
did you have to
So
go? Okay, go ahead.
I think I told you before, or I don't know if I told you, but there's like three locations in the city.
Yeah.
The one I wanted to rent from was right on the corner from where I'm sheltering in place right now. Then they called me and they're like, you can't return the car after hours. I'm like, okay. And there's another location that's kind of close. They're like, you can't return there either because they locked the gate, which I later found out that the one that I can return after hours does lock their gate as well. So, anyways,
Then how do you return after hours? Okay.
there were no instructions or anything. It's really annoying, and I'm kind of annoyed. And I hope they don't charge me for any damages because I didn't cause any. Um, anyway, so we get there, and there's cars like lined. There's just U-Hauls just parked all the way back, all the way to the parking to the street. Like what the fuck? And then so I was gonna park it. So they have like a side parking for like storage units, but they said don't park in front of storage units. So I'm like, what the fuck? So anyways, there's some U-Hauls that are like parked off to the side, like at the beginning of the parking for storage units. I just parked behind one. I was like, fuck it. Like, what else am I supposed to do? And then so I'd like follow the app and be like, this is how much gas I returned it with, et cetera, et cetera. And I made sure I like gave it more gas I than I rented it with, just so I
Yeah.
didn't get charged that bullshit fee. It's
Yeah.
only a gallon and a half. And anyways, returned it, put it there, like just parked behind another U-Haul. Because I asked other people, they're like, yeah, we just parked it here. I'm like, all right, well, if you don't give instructions, then, and I feel like this happens often enough. Why don't you just write instructions so that people don't like get charged or have this bullshit like to deal with? So, anyways, yeah, I dropped off, and my friend he rode with me and picked me up, and then we went back. Um, so yeah, I think I paid under $40 for the rental. Let's say $40 with gas. And I
40
think
bucks with gas. Okay.
yeah, because it was like $20 for the rental, like $1.18 in whatever taxes and fees, and then it's like 79 cents a mile. I think I did 16 miles, and then I paid, and they probably charged tax on that, and then I paid 3.09 a gallon. I did a gallon and a half. So
309. That's pretty cheap.
is it? I mean, it's usually like $4 and change, but I mean, compared to like Georgia, it's more expensive, right?
Oh yeah, it's much more expensive. Georgia right now is
Something. It's still one some.
189.
Yeah, you see, like I remember, I heard like it went down as low as like 149, 159.
Yeah, probably in some remoter areas.
Not Georgia though, or
No,
Atlanta.
I'm saying probably in some remoter
Uh,
areas. Yeah.
more remote areas. Okay, got it. So, anyways, and then we just grilled and had some steaks and some air fried chicken wings. It's for kind of for them helping me out, I guess. It was my sister Tina and my friend. So
Nice.
yeah, and I also fed the friend. We also had vodka, so it's like drink as much vodka if you want as you want. I also had like 3 packs of Charmin Basic TP, and I was like, if you want it, you can have it. I need that ultra strong or ultra soft, man. That basic stuff is terrible.
uh,
So, anyways, that's how the moving went. Wasn't It was just like some annoying things, but in the end, it all worked out. Did you rent out the second unit yet?
No, not yet. And I emailed them to ask like what's up, and they didn't respond. So
That's not good.
they don't do shit. I don't know if they're
Well,
like working and they're just like they just don't communicate because they
how long
didn't
ago?
tell me. I emailed them on Monday.
Oh, okay,
But-
it's been Monday.
Yeah, but the unit's been available like a month. So
Really?
yeah, because the second unit got rented out mid-June, but it was available like first week of June.
Huh.
So like they never told me like that first one when it got rented out, they just told me like, oh, by the way, we signed somebody. Like literally they emailed me and said, oh, someone's moving in 2 days from now. Here's the lease agreement signed. I'm like, all right. And they're like, okay. And then I just see a deposit into my bank account, which is nice. The bad part about it is, so now I contact them about, because it's 2 units, and I'm like, so what about the second unit? Nothing. No response. So.
That sucks. Did I tell you about?
I'll give them like a week,
Okay.
and then
Yeah, that's
I'll
fair.
call the like owner person.
Of the management company.
Yeah.
Speaking
I feel
of
like I
management
could do
companies,
their jobs. Well, I say that, but it probably a lot harder. If I can figure out how to do like handle evictions and stuff like that, their job is easy.
I mean, yeah, but it's just whether if you want to deal with it.
If I can get like subcontract that out, maybe it's good.
I'm sure you could. Start creating a team. Start your own management company.
I mean, I could manage them myself.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what I'm saying. You start your own company and you manage them yourself.
I could up to the eviction part because
Well, that's why you create a management company. You have people handle that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm trying to say, like, if you want to do it, yeah. It's not. You just got to find people who are willing to like do the dirty work, but you're paying them. So.
Right.
Uh,
That's true.
Speaking of management companies, we heard back from my sister's, or the new place.
Oh, right. So you're signed.
Kind of. Okay, so let me explain real quick. So they finally emailed back and they're like, yeah, we'll do 4250. So they dropped it 500, just straight up. And then I think my sister wanted to do 10 months, a 10-month lease instead of a 12-month to try, because the lease is supposed to end August 31st, and that put us at June 31st of next year. But then what they did is they said 4250, and then the lease ends April. So it's based on April 31st. So based on like the end of this month, not August, which is the end of the current lease, if that makes sense, or existing lease.
April starting now. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess my sister's idea was, 10 months is based off the existing lease date. So basically, they sent in an addendum, and they're like, old roommates are being taken off, I'm being added on, and then they put in some kind of acts about, or some kind of law about like rent, how much they can increase rent or whatever. We just had to sign that. So they just gave us an addendum and we signed it. They didn't drop like a new lease or anything. So I was like, okay. Oh, and it just said, and then in the addendum just says lease extended till April of 2021.
Why couldn't they do to June? They didn't give a reason.
Well, I think it's just because we sent an email now. They asked if we want to extend, and then we just said 10 months. I'm guessing they're assuming 10 months from the end of this month or end of June.
Right, but why couldn't you go back and just, because all that stuff is just
Okay, so
whatever
my
you want.
sister, right? So my sister's like, should we go back and just say June 31st, or should we keep it at April 31st? And I was like, well, once we go off the contract, then it's just month to month, which they could increase the rent. But I mean, I feel like we should we should err on the lower side, like a sooner date, because that if we find something that's say in May, then we have to pay for June's rent, if that makes sense. Because if the lease ends in June, right? To break lease, it might cost however much. Versus if we ended in April 31st, right? The lease contract ended then, and then we found a place like mid-June, then we could technically find someone else to rent, or they could find someone else to rent, and we don't have to pay through May instead of pay through June, right?
So your plan is to find some place by next May?
I don't know. My sister is just thinking that prices will be good then.
Okay.
I mean, realistically, I don't think unless my mom's here, we're gonna buy something. So I'm just saying, assuming we buy something around then, I'd rather err on I'd rather end in April than end in June.
Okay.
Because
Well,
I think you usually have to
I
give.
don't see them increase. Have they increased the rent while your sister's been there?
Yeah, they did at some point,
Oh.
but she asked for rent decreases and they give it to her.
So you can
I
probably.
mean, I think they're being reasonable.
If you're gonna re-up next year, you can probably just be like, keep the same rate.
Probably. I mean, but the point I'm trying to get at is, I'd rather err on on a shorter lease than a longer lease.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have to give a 30-day notice anyways.
Sure, I got you. But
I
that went smooth. That wasn't a problem.
No, the only thing is they took a while to respond, and also I'm not on the. I guess I'm technically on the lease now, but I haven't been added to the payment portal, so. I mean, it's not a big deal because my sister can pay. But,
Right.
I mean, that's minor detail.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna do some repairs. I think later this week or something. Just like
Really?
some minor repairs. Yeah. Well, it's stuff my sister requested, so.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I mean, they're supposed to. So.
Yeah, I mean, people are they're supposed to. That's true.
Yeah. Anyways. So yeah, I mean, everything's going well. I'm probably gonna go over tomorrow, and hopefully move as much as I can. Ideally, I just want to get the garage freed up, so I could park a car in there if needed. Yeah. So, going. And then I think the rest of it is just like my sister and I talking about just minor details about the townhouse itself. Oh, and then she's moving upstairs. So she's moving upstairs, I'm moving downstairs. So there's a lot of moving going on.
She's moving from garage level to upstairs.
Yeah.
And you're gonna take the garage level.
Well, yeah, I have no other choice.
Why don't you two live upstairs?
Why would I want to live in the office? That's tiny.
Oh, it's tiny. It's smaller than the room next to the garage.
Yeah, because that's a bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Just think about not a full-size bedroom, like an office space. It's probably like half to 3/4 the size of a bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna have to share a bathroom, so why would we want to do that?
That's true. I thought she wanted to stay.
Just wondering what
I thought she wanted to stay downstairs.
Well, first of all, what's the benefit of us both living upstairs? We're like literally
No,
like our
I'm
doors are
saying
3 feet from each other.
I thought she wanted to stay in the.
I know, but before that, you're saying that why not live both upstairs? We're like our doors are 3 feet away from each other.
I had assumed that what you meant by office was actually like another room that can be used as an office. Not like a smaller room.
It's a room that's designated as an office.
Okay.
But a lot of places here say it's an extra bedroom, but it really isn't.
It isn't. Okay.
I mean that they have rented it out as a bedroom, but just because it's San Francisco. And then I don't know. I thought my sister was just gonna stay downstairs, but she decided to go upstairs. I think she just wanted to change, so she moved upstairs.
Okay. Well, you at least yeah, you'll have the garage right there, and you have the little patio-ish thingy in the back.
Yeah, my sister says a lot of mosquitoes there, but I think the two good things for me is if we end up having a roommate later, I have the bathroom or my own bathroom.
Right.
Also, I don't have to clean the bathroom upstairs because it's kind of dirty. Her roommates left it kind of dirty. But also downstairs, I think the biggest thing is downstairs is cooler. And
yeah.
I'm always hot, so. And then, but the only thing I don't like is that since it's the end unit, it's right next to the gate. You can hear the gate opening and closing.
Right, and you're on the ground floor, so you'll hear all the cars driving around too.
You hear cars upstairs everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's like people shoot fireworks all the time, or lately. And then there's like a car that just does burnouts all the time. It's kind of annoying. But.
Yeah, speaking of fireworks, are there going to be fireworks this year? I guess
I
will,
think there
but
will
there's
be.
there's no event. It'll be like watch it on TV.
How do you know? I mean, there's not shelter in place isn't happening anymore, right?
It's starting up again, especially in Florida, in Texas. Florida, they were like, "Fuck this. We don't even give a shit."
Well, Georgia doesn't really give a shit either, so.
Well, what I'm worried is all the people in Georgia who are going to go down to Florida for the weekend and then
Are going to get corona.
come back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're literally like right there.
I saw that New York is doing like a 2-week or 14-day quarantine for states including Georgia, Texas, California, probably Florida, and like and some other states. I thought that was interesting. But I'm glad they're kind of taking it.
They're smart.
They're finally taking it seriously, though.
Are they doing it for people like driving in, or is it just flying in?
I'm sure it's both.
I don't know. I don't think driving in. Are they like putting up
They did that with Florida, man. Yeah. They did that in like Florida, didn't they? People going to Florida, they wouldn't let people in or something a while ago. Really? There's only certain, like, I mean, they're probably going to do the interstates. I'm sure there's people who are going to get around it by taking like small roads, but I'm sure like interstates are going to try and block.
Wow. I didn't know that they did that. Like they actually like closed off the highway.
They did that for Florida. I don't see why they don't do it for New York then.
But then how do they like ensure like truck deliveries get through? They just...
So trucks are probably allowed, like I think if you have a legitimate reason you can go through.
Wow. I didn't know.
It's not like, okay, they're not just going to block everyone including trucks and be like, yeah, we're just going to block Florida off from everything and everyone's just going to be self-sufficient in Florida.
I don't know. It kind of feels like that. Like the whole, like even blocking the roads is pretty like apocalyptic feeling.
How?
Because it's like.
If they're completely blocking people off, sure, maybe.
There's not really any other way to get into a state other than like the interstates.
No, there's small roads you can go through.
Sure, but not everyone's gonna take them. Like.
Okay, then you don't need to go. Then you don't need to get into the state that badly, then. Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's apocalyptic at all yet.
How do they
still have the freedom to walk around and shit?
How do they implement like the quarantine then? Do they? So you land. Let's say you go to New York.
I don't know, dude.
And you land. Do they like put you up in a hotel? They just.
I don't know.
Direct you into a bus, I guess.
They also, I mean, Texas. My friend who was flying it through Texas, like connecting, a couple months ago, they had like Texas Rangers apparently asking if you're going into Texas or not. So I don't know if they were doing quarantine then, but I mean, I'm sure if you Google it, they'll tell you exactly how it works. Wow. It's. I feel like you're making it more difficult than it actually is.
No, I like to think through the logistics. Just how complicated it's got to be.
I'm saying I don't think it's that complicated. It's just like doing like a border patrol kind of thing, right?
Right, but it's at every like not like into like major states.
Not major states, it's the selective states that want to do that.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like, yeah, but okay, for instance, like Florida, there's only like 3 interstates that go into those major interstates that go into Florida. You got like 75, 95, and then maybe like 10. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what they might do is like redirect all traffic to like one of those truck weighing stations or like a stop or something, or like even like a visitor center. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, they like all inbound traffic goes to this visitor center, and then they like if you're a truck and you're delivering stuff, they just like let you through, and then if you're a car, they like stop you, they ask you questions, and they.
I mean, they probably stop trucks and ask them too. I don't know.
Hmm.
I guess, but my point is, this is already like border patrol is already in place, so like it wouldn't be hard to train someone on how to do it or to set something up.
Okay. What about like if you leave? Like let's say
I don't think they care if you leave. It's just when you come back.
yeah, like let's say I'm a New York resident and I leave New York and I try to come back.
Show them your ID.
Yeah, but they'll ask me like, did I go to Florida? I guess if I did, then I need to be quarantined.
Well, I guess you could lie about it. I mean, I'm not like I'm pretty sure this is not a bulletproof thing, like where
Right.
people, yeah. But I think the whole idea is to reduce cases.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you I went to a bar?
Which one?
Mazzy's. Do you know Mazzy's? Sports Bar and Grill. They have the main reason I went there is they have pool tables and dartboards.
Yeah.
And like they have a separate section for it, so it's not like, and they're not the cheap pool tables where you like coin operate this shit. It's like actual stuff.
Okay. What area is it in?
It's in Duluth, Spalding Drive area.
Okay.
Jimmy
Like
Carter.
near
Jimmy
Peachtree
Carter.
Corners.
Yeah, near Peachtree Corners. Yeah.
Okay.
So
What about
anyways,
that place that we went to before? Is that still open? The one
Independent?
above H Mart?
Oh, Red Fox? I
Yeah.
think it is actually.
Yeah. Why didn't you go there instead?
Because it's farther from my friend's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How's Mazzy's?
Red Fox is technically better too, quality.
Yeah, because their pool tables are like a year old.
But the problem with Red Fox is they'll still allow people to smoke inside. You just have to smoke in like a smoking area. In Mazzy's, there's no smoking period.
Does that bother you or your friend?
It kind of bothers me.
Oh, you little bitch.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't want to smell like smoke. Anyways,
But that's the connotation with billiards, right? I'm just messing.
what? Oh, you mean like it's just what you do when you shoot pool?
Wasn't that like what people think of when someone shoots pool?
Yeah, usually I guess. But anyways, so we went there and all the staff, like waitresses, bartenders, managers, they're all wearing masks.
It's good.
And my friend and I, we were wearing masks too.
Yeah.
Nobody else is wearing masks, period.
It's Georgia for you, man.
It's very Georgia. And we're the only Asians there, and it makes sense, but
No, it doesn't.
I think
I mean, even like when, what's that?
I think it makes sense. Like, I think Asians have a higher likelihood of taking it seriously.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I told you when I was in Tahoe 2 weekends ago, no one was wearing masks, so
Mm.
But at least they were like walking around instead of being like indoors.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So we were the only ones wearing masks and shooting
okay.
pool while wearing masks.
Nothing. I mean, it doesn't really affect your performance, anyways.
No, it
So
doesn't.
we need to. When I go back, we need to shoot some pool sometime again.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though you're probably gonna kick my ass.
Probably.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I don't know if the Independent is still there. Like, do
Yeah, I may
people?
have closed down. Who knows?
Yeah, they're
It would
closing
suck.
down. Like, did you hear one of the
Reroll.
major franchisees of Wendy's and Pizza Hut is closing down?
Like all over Atlanta or what?
I think they're across the nation. I saw this article this morning. It was like there's a major franchisee who owns a lot of locations. I want to say like 80 locations
Oh,
of a mix of Wendy's and Pizza Huts, and they're like closing them all down because they went bankrupt.
that's crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, 24-hour fitness went bank. There's like a whole bunch of like,
Oh, 24-hour fitness went bankrupt?
I think 24. I heard maybe even Gold's Gym went
Gold's
bankrupt
Gym.
too.
Damn.
Yeah, I saw like I think we're in the East Bay, and one of the 24 hours that's supposed to be there, it's gone. It's just, but what's crazy is how these companies can't survive 2 or 3 months without cash flow. It just makes me wonder like these companies were running like financially.
Well,
Or well, okay, so if it was just that they're closing down stores to cut their losses, that's understandable. But to the point where you're like where your company is bankrupt, I don't know, dude.
I think it's just that the if you have so many locations,
Yeah,
your expenses are just too high. Like every month, the rent that they pay or whatever their property tax is so much. We're talking
yeah,
like if you have 80 locations, you're paying like a shit ton in.
right. And but I think there's like okay, so I would imagine that some locations do better than others, right? And that's usually the deciding factor. So like if one location is not doing well,
Right.
that's the first one that's got to go, and then you slowly, close it based on that. But also, you have like, is it that people are canceling memberships and then paying their cancellation fees or something, and then that's causing them to not have any more cash flow, or what?
Probably as well as no incoming new memberships. So they're seeing people like cancel their memberships, but not an equal balance of people coming in with new memberships.
Well, then there's no new memberships because shelter in place. You can't go. I
Right.
mean, until
It's just
like maybe
physically not possible for people to like. So you're like losing on continued monthly payments as well as you're paying all the utility fees, even though it's like, I guess if you're closed at the time, you're not really spending a lot, but you're still like paying the lease on the land, for the space maybe. Uh,
right.
you're
I
probably
guess some.
you're still paying the staff because you're anticipating reopening. So, or unless you like don't pay them for a couple months, but then maybe people will quit. So you can't like not pay them either.
Sure. I mean, I guess what I'm just saying is I feel like these big companies they should be making enough money to be able to survive.
They should, but they probably are doing
Or
either they're so efficient, which I don't believe, or I think they're like shady as hell, which is
but what do you
probably
mean by efficient though?
so like they're just surviving on cash flow.
I wouldn't that consider I would what I consider efficient is like they're maximizing their profits a lot. Is what I consider efficient.
Well, but like whatever profits they're making, they're probably reinvesting it, so they don't actually have like cash available. They're always using
I
it
don't
to
think
buy something
I,
else.
yeah, I don't think that's smart as a business.
I don't know. I think it is. I don't. You shouldn't have cash just sitting around either. You should have a amount of
You
cash.
should have a liquid cash. But I'm not saying like you taking all your cash and make it. Yeah, like I understand like you're gonna invest, but also you should still have cash for situations.
Sure. I don't know. Maybe some of these, because I think some of these smaller franchises, if they have like one or two locations, they're just like they're not holding a lot of cash because they're trying to keep build and grow as fast as they can.
I don't consider that efficient per se, but I mean the other thing is based on like how the system works here, they might just file bankruptcy just so they cut their losses and just take whatever they have and then go from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad way to do it. You just basically file Chapter 11 and you basically just don't owe any vendors anymore.
I think you still owe people. I don't think you're like off the hook. I think
You pretty much, I think it's where they can't come after you for anything.
I don't think it works like that. I don't think you can file bankruptcy that automatically means you don't pay people back. Are you looking it up?
Yes. Then why file for bankruptcy?
I mean, filing for bankruptcy is like a status that you have. I don't think it means you don't owe on debts.
Okay. Chapter 11 is a form of bankruptcy that involves a reorganization of a debtor's business affair, debts, and assets, and for that reason is known as reorganization bankruptcy. Named after the U.S. Bankruptcy Code 11, corporations generally file Chapter 11 if they require time to restructure their debts. This version of bankruptcy gives the debtor a fresh start. However, the terms are subject to the debtor's fulfillment of its obligations under the plan of reorganization.
Yeah, I think it's like maybe you have an installment plan. Like instead of you owe $1 million now, you can say I'll owe $1.5 million in 5 years or something like that. I don't think it's like you owe and then it's like I file bankruptcy, I'm chill, like nothing happens.
Okay, I wouldn't say like nothing happens, but my whole point is I don't think you're going to end up owing more. It's just like collectors.
Okay.
And that, like that. I don't think you're going to end up owing more. It's just like, well, I filed Chapter 11. This is what I can owe you. Or like, yeah, it's like what I read is basically like it comes down to agreements made between.
Yeah, I mean, like if I owe you the money, I can't pay you now. I just can't. I physically don't have it, so we'll have to work something out.
But I think I may be wrong, but I think when you have a Chapter 11 status, it significantly reduces your obligations.
Yeah, probably you can work out like, let's say you owe $1 million, you can be like, I'll pay you $500,000.
Right.
And so you basically saved yourself some money. But I don't think you're like, I mean, even that is a lot to give up.
I mean, but I feel like some companies are just like, I don't have that money, and like, what are you gonna do about it to the vendor?
You just gotta figure it out. I mean, it sucks, but
okay. So let me rephrase it. I think what it really is just like it reduces your financial responsibilities greatly. It's a way out instead of just being like piled in debt. You're piled in less debt, or sometimes I think it's just like, yeah, I don't have the money. Sucks to be you.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I think you're right. It's like you're basically saying like I can't pay everything, but we'll just agree on what I owe.
Sure. Yeah, works for me. I mean, I think some companies get away with more than you're saying. Like we haven't experienced this, but I feel like I've read or heard somewhere where people file, like Trump's filed for bankruptcy multiple times, and he's making a shit ton of money now. Do you think he took all that money he's earned recently and paid back previous people he's owed? Doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's something about like once you file bankruptcy, they can't come after you if you go into, I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to spew too much misinformation. So
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anything you would do differently with your move?
maybe start earlier if I knew I had to bring the keys back by 5:30 or 5.
Did you
Oh,
research any other moving options like pods or like budget?
What's the point of a pod?
The
A pod's
is
good for shipping across the country.
But doesn't it give you time? Like it's not time restricted, so
Okay, so here's the thing. I live in the city, right?
yeah. Oh,
And yeah, you might be able,
pod
but I
there.
don't think I've never seen a pod being put in my complex.
Right.
And also, you put all your shit in that pod. What if someone breaks into it and steals all that shit?
Yeah.
What's
that's
the point?
true. Yeah.
Like I had most of my stuff packed up, so I think if I was doing it again, maybe I would have spent a little more time packing everything up. But I was just trying to minimize. Excuse me. Minimize the number of trips I made to my apartment.
Mm.
So I think I just would have started early if I knew that U-Haul was gonna be shitty. And maybe not have used U-Haul. But I mean U-Haul is probably the
There's
cheapest
not really
moving method.
many options.
Like I looked at budget, I looked at what's the other one? Penske?
Mm-hmm.
Not cheap at all.
U-Haul
And I could
has
like I was thinking about it, huh?
U-Haul has like a monopoly on personal moving kind of. But then they don't they don't provide good customer service, and yeah, I think the app is useless if you still like they don't have like an enterprise, rent a car system where you can literally like pick up the car.
Well, no, usually you go into the place to the counter and pick it up, but they're just encouraging mobile pickups. But if I was to do a regular pickup like at the counter, I would have had to wait for like 10 other people pick up the car. It would have taken me even longer to get the rental.
But don't you have to didn't you say you still have to talk with someone even with the mobile pickup?
You have to get keys.
That's all they do? They don't have to enter anything in the system?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Nice.
The problem was that the app wasn't working.
The app wasn't working.
Yeah. I just thought the things would be more streamlined, and it was kind of annoying also is they need 2 additional people contacts, and they contact them, and then they need a picture of you. And then I just took a picture with my mask on, and they're like, we need a picture without the mask. I was like, oh, okay. So that process took 5 minutes probably. But I don't know, I just thought it just seems like it could be way more streamlined. The app needs work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know.
U-Haul's not a terrible business model though.
It's not, but you just got
as long as you have people who are maintaining the trucks, all you need is space and trucks. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the place that's around the corner from here, it's not an actual U-Haul location. It's an authorized U-Haul dealer.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, you don't actually have to.
As long as you
I guess franchise it or something.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is, like, I don't know where the parking lot for this corner market is, because I've seen U-Hauls parked like on the street. I don't know if it's like after hours or what. So I don't know if they have like a parking lot around the corner or something. But yeah, I don't know.
So what are you doing for July 4th?
I think we're just gonna have a few people over at my place. We're gonna grill. I was able to borrow a grill from a neighbor back at my old place for the time being, and then thinking about buying a grill, but like all the highly rated ones are like 400 plus bucks, which I think is ridiculous.
Really?
So yeah, like so like you can buy like ones that look, so like the ones that are like 4 burner fight, like the ones that are like decently big, they're probably 250, but the ones that are pretty well rated, they're like 400 or 500 bucks.
Whoa.
So I'm talking about well rated. I'm not talking about a grill.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the question is like, do I want to just buy something that's good enough and then have it break down over time, or just get something nice that will hopefully last? But I'm thinking about building my own.
Building your own grill?
I'm thinking about it.
Damn.
Well, the other thing is you can just buy the burners that go under the grill, to like for the gas log or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy those online, and then you can buy grates. So all you really have to do then is just make like the I guess
Container?
the container and the lid,
Okay.
which doesn't sound terribly difficult. It's just the thing is like by
Don't
the
you have a
time it
file
depends
cabinet?
on, dude, that's just gonna fall apart in like
Just take out the cabinets and just, or you
yeah,
can
it's
put the
gonna
walls
fucking
in it.
fall apart. No. Um, I mean the question then is just like, do you pay the money and just get something that's already built,
Yes.
or do you spend the time? Do you waste your time to build something?
No. 400 is not bad. You want a good grill?
It's a fucking grill though. Like it's just burners, a butt, and some metal. Like why is it so fucking expensive?
Because you buy, okay, so if you bought burners and the metal, what's that going to cost you? $100?
Depends on what you buy.
And then you have to like do the work to put it together, and then it may not like I don't know. I feel like the labor involved in the time is not
Yes, but you're probably gonna make something as good or better, is the argument.
as
And
good or better.
yeah, you can, but also you can claim that you made your own grill. It's a party piece.
Okay. So you
I mean,
want,
okay, so
want
for
the
most
bragging
people,
rights.
for most people, you probably just go buy one and say fuck it. But I'm telling you, like, I'd say like the ones that go up to like 250 or whatever, those things start deteriorating if you use them often enough. Like, there's those little hats that go on top of the burners. Those things go bad all the time. So if you buy a cheap enough grill and like the basket or container is not good enough, that shit starts like rusting out or corroding, and you have to buy another one anyways.
Okay.
It's just like anything else. Like, do I buy the cheap one that's probably not gonna last, or do I buy the more expensive one that more than likely will last longer?
Or build it yourself.
Or yeah, build it yourself. I just feel like there's just things where I don't. It's for me. I said before. It's like repairing shit. I don't want to necessarily have to repair it myself. If you include my labor, it'd still probably be cheaper than paying someone else to do it. But at least I don't have to go argue with someone over like why they fucked it up, and then trying to get my money back. Versus I know what I did wrong, and if I can't fix it, then I'll bring it to someone, or I'll fix it usually. Like it's car, I'll usually fix the problem myself, and done. And I know it's been fixed properly.
Mm.
So yeah, it depends on like your know-how and whatever. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but the thing is, at least I have a grill to use for at least July 4th. Then we'll
Yeah.
figure it out from there. And like also making like a smoker it's something pretty easy to do, or like a charcoal grill. It's not terribly hard to do. It's definitely easier than like a gas grill.
Sure, like a big green egg, that kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that. Ceramic, well, at least I think some are ceramic. I don't know about the big green egg, but I feel like it's ceramic too, because ceramic is known to hold in heat, right? Like, is a good insulator. We'll see. I don't know. The other thing the other reason I want to do something like that is because I kind of wouldn't mind making something that I could easily transport, like take apart and transport. Because like most of the grills you make, right? Like you build or assemble, they have like the wheels and they're very cumbersome to carry around. But if I could make something where I could easily just carry it around, that'd be nice.
Like a portable grill.
Yeah. Maybe you could buy what you could do is maybe buy a cart that you could put the grill on or something. And then if you want to just carry around the grill, you take the top part off the actual grill and leave the cart on. I don't know. It's not necessarily going to be cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. And then the other thing is if we get like a condo or an apartment or something, like in a high rise, we're probably not going to be able to grill anyway. So the question then is just like, do I still want to get like do I want to get a good grill then, or just get something that's cheap and works for a year and dispose of it? I'm thinking way too much about this, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I knew like the future, like what was gonna if I knew I was gonna move somewhere where there like I could have a grill for sure, I'd probably just go ahead and buy the $400 grill and just say fuck it, because it'll probably last quite a while.
I mean, you guys moving out is going to be a bigger move with like more trucks and stuff. You'll have the space.
Well, the space for what?
Like you'll need to get a big truck, and then therefore you will have space for a grill.
But that's not what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about wherever we move to, if we're able to.
Like even if you have a condo and you can't grill, I mean, having a grill is not terrible. Like eventually you'll be in a spot. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, but okay. So how long is it going to take? Like, yes. What's the point? And then the thing is, if I have let's say I have a grill, that's assuming I also have like an outdoor little patio area that I can put it. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it indoors all the time.
Well, why go to a condo? Why don't you guys buy a house? Then
I don't. Okay, it's because my sister wants to be in a convenient location. Convenient location equals more than likely a condo or an apartment. I'm fine with moving a little bit further out, but still being in the city. But the thing is, like, it's something that hasn't been decided. So I'm not gonna just buy a place just because I can have a grill.
Right.
So
why not? What you should be purchasing based on your grilling habits.
Okay, buddy. Whatever you say. Anyways, I'll figure it out. I'll let you know what happens, but
yeah,
it's really not that big of a deal. I just like, this is just my thought process. So anyways, I think it's funny that grills aren't allowed because I think they think of it as a fire hazard. But I feel like there are other fire hazards that could happen that could be caused more than the grill. Because, like, let's say you burn something on a stovetop. I think that's more dangerous than a grill. Because with a grill, you just cut off the gas and, like, just cover. If you leave it covered, right, it'll starve out oxygen.
Yeah, it's separate from the house.
It is.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think it's just people just don't like the smell of smoke and bullshit like that. Or like smoking in their face and smell of grills. I'm sure some vegan person is gonna be like, "Oh my god, it smells terrible," when they complain about it. Which, I mean, I guess they're entitled to, but just like, why can't people do their own thing? Let's not get into that.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and tune in next week for more stories about what has got us shaking our heads.